All right, this is the very last take I'm doing on this because I am running out of time before I have to get ready for work. It is 6:30 and I have to leave within the next half hour. So, quick video. We're going to be as quick about it as possible. This is a quick video about my two stories that I'm doing for NaNoWriMo. I know it's kind of a no-no, but the reason being is that one of my stories is Western and I have it plotted out and it's only about 8 chapters. If those chapters are anywhere near the length of my normal chapters, that means that's only about 25,000 words at most. So I have a backup story so that if I finish this story, then I can move on to that one and still hit 50,000 words. I don't know if that's kind of going against the purpose of NaNoWriMo, which is to finish one novel in a month, but the first one's more of a novella. And I do want to do it, especially since November is also when Red Dead is coming out, Red Dead 2. So I figured the Western, I gotta do that for November, you know? And then I have a sci-fi that's kind of a backup story that I'm equally excited about. If I decide I'm more excited about that one through Preptober, then I may just end up doing that one for November. But we will see. Anyway, so I'm going to read you my kind of like really rough back cover blurbs. Please forgive me on the Western one, it's a little bit rougher than the other one because I totally didn't read through it and I did it in like 5 minutes yesterday. So the title of that story, and I'm super excited about that one, is Just Bury 'Em Out Back. That's the Western one, and I'm going to read the back cover blurb now, and hopefully it doesn't sound too cheesy. So, it's rough living on the outskirts of the new frontier. After a brutal attack by a horde of banditos, the peaceful town of Santa Verisa, that might mean something, I don't know, I just threw a name in there. Anyway, decide that enough is enough and they're going to take the law into their own hands. They put one rule into practice in their town. Anyone who arrives with a price on their heads for any sort of violent crimes gets sent to the local whorehouse, never to return. But after years of successful vigilantism, with the local brothel girls working as judge, jury, and executioners, something goes terribly wrong. One attempted victim escapes. The town and their murderous, I couldn't think of anything to put there, so I just put murderesses, must prepare for the escapee's vengeance, which comes swiftly. But everything is not as it seems. And after a devastating attack on their town, sorry, my computer screen went black. After a devastating attack on their town, a truth is revealed about both the escapee and one of their local town people. Anyway, that's what happens there. I'm not going to give away too many other spoilers because I'm actually like super excited for that story, even though I know the Westerns aren't super popular. And this may be an idea that's been done before, I haven't searched, but I really liked the idea of applying the idea that geisha in Japan used to also work as secret assassins and like take out their clients. I mean, like not take them out for dinner, but like take them out, you know? So I decided that would be a fun concept to apply to the Old West, and I was trying to figure out how to do that. And I didn't want them to have to be secretive about it in the town. I just wanted the whole town to kind of be in on it. Kind of like Dexter, but like in a town. Anyway, that's kind of my idea for it. It's a cross between a generic spaghetti Western, Dexter, and the concept that geishas used to sometimes act as assassins. So I kind of applied that to the Old West, and I thought that would be fun. The second story that I have here, I'm calling Zyla because that's the main character's name. Zyla, kind of futuristic-y, sci-fi sounding. And the theme I'm going for this one is, and this is the one that has the potentiality to turn into a series if I so choose, if I decide I want to tackle that, because honestly I'm terrified of the idea of a series instead of doing a standalone. That sounds overwhelming to me, but I kind of want to do it with this one just because I love the main character. But anyway, the theme I'm going for is the importance and fragility of peace. I think that's kind of relevant nowadays with who we have in charge, but I don't want to get into that whole barrel of worms. But anyway, this one's a little bit more polished, but it's still pretty rough, so bear with me. So this is my kind of back cover blurb that I came up with for that one. So, thousands of years have passed since Planet X disturbed the normalcy humans had taken for granted on Earth. But after their world had literally been turned upside down, the evolution of a new branch of humans called Phibians have crawled their way out of the chaos and radiation-poisoned waters that now cover most of the planet. After centuries of racial persecution, the Phibians and Landers eventually made peace and became powerful allies. That is, until a radical sect of Phibians reemerge from hiding. They have been living underwater for hundreds of years, unaware of the changes in the relationship between Landers and Phibians since they went into exile. Now they are out for revenge. Our heroes, Zyla and her co-worker Sam, learn of the evil plot the Phibians have to launch a coup against the reigning Lander powers. They must stop it before it comes to fruition, or risk a new worldwide conflict between the Landers and the Phibians. So, I'm really excited for that one. Basically, the premise is that Phibians... So basically, the idea is that in the past, because this is based off of a whole thing called Nibiru, if you're interested in it, you can look it up, where there's a theory that there's this Planet X that's going to come by planet Earth sometime in the future, we don't know when type thing, and switch our poles and like flood a bunch of the planet. And if that were to happen, I theorize that, of course, all the like radiation power plants that are on the coastlines, because they have to be, that's just part of their cooling system, would be flooded as a result. And this would seep a bunch of radiation into the ocean waters and have all these effects on ocean life and plant life in the oceans, as well as people who might not have been able to get out of the flooded areas that are flooded enough that they're not really practical to live in, but not so flooded that you can't live in them. And for a while, when they were building structures, they were having to be ankle deep, waist deep, knee deep in this radioactive water, which caused people who lived there, who tended to be the less influential and less powerful, less wealthy people, who couldn't get to higher ground quicker, and because it's pretty crowded at that point, ended up starting to evolve because of the radiation in certain ways, and a lot of people died because some of that evolution resulted in just bad deformities and radiation poisoning, but other people ended up having kids which had different abilities. Basically, the point is they, over thousands of years, ended up evolving into what we ended up calling Phibians, being that they are kind of like amphibian humans. Now, they look like normal humans, but they can breathe underwater for limited periods of time, which comes into play later. And they don't have any hair at all. Like, they don't have any eyebrows, no eyelashes, no hair. So most of the Phibians opt to either wear a wig and like tattoo on eyebrows and eyelashes so they look kind of normal and blend in, because there was a bit of really bad treatment towards them for a long time after they evolved, because there's a whole backstory in there. I'm not going to go into it now. But anyway, most of them opt to try to look semi like normal humans. Our main hero, Zyla, I want her to look, honestly, I very much imagine her to look like one of the warriors from Wakanda in the Marvel universe, because she doesn't bother wearing a wig. She does have the tattooed on eyebrows and does have tattooed on eyelashes, but she has a bald head, which she does get tattooed with cool patterns and stuff. So that's why I kind of imagine her looking like one of the like Wakanda warrior women. Plus, she's kind of a badass. And the backstory of the Phibians is that instead of responding to the bad treatment that they had at the time, they tried like kind of rebellion type things, and those weren't working out. So they decided to opt for just educating themselves really, really well so that they could show their own humanity and how they should be treated but like humans. And obviously that took longer than other methods, but eventually they became really, really valuable to the Landers because a lot of their scientists and smart people have been taken out. So finally, because the Phibians decided that they were going to opt for just making sure that they were really, really smart and valuable people, that the Landers kind of need them as allies, so then they got a truce as a result of that. I may not go a lot into that because that's possibly the premise for the prequel that I might write for before this. But I'm really interested in this particular story right now, not so much in the prequel. I might do this a little bit like Anne McCaffrey did her dragon novels, the Pern novels, where I do one story and then I can do like a prequel that links to that, and I can do another one at some other timeline, but each one has a little bit of a summary to fill you in on the backstory. Like in the why am I blanking on what the thing is called that you do before a story? The forward, not the forward. The oh my gosh, the prologue, that thing. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's enough. I rambled long enough. We're already over 10 minutes. So I'm going to let you go. Hopefully those sound interesting to you. And you know why I'm doing 2 stories for Nano now, unless I get super sucked into this sci-fi one, in which case I will probably just do the sci-fi one. We will see. But I really want to do the Western one because Red Dead's coming out in November, and it would be awesome to be doing a Western alongside of getting to watch my hubby play Red Dead, and we could both be doing Western-y themed things, and that would be fun. But anyway, that's it. I'm already at 11 minutes. I'm going to let you go. You guys have a great day. I really have to get ready for work now because I have to leave in like 20 minutes. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.